entertainment right here on TV47 News. Staying to our name, the home of untold stories. Time now to bring you up to date with what's happening from across the country and beyond right here on News Now. We thank you so much for joining us. It is a few minutes to 1 p.m. East African time. Good afternoon. Thank you for making time. My name is George Maringa. As always, we have a comprehensive bulletin for you. But first, the highlights. 3 people confirmed dead, over 3,800 families displaced in Mombasa County as heavy rains continue wreaking havoc in the area.
Ni kuna uwezekano wa hii mvua kuweza kuendelea.
Politics of the government-to-government oil importation deal expected to take center stage as President William Ruto tours Kirinyaga County today.
Teachers power! Solidarity! Solidarity!
Also at this hour, transport and businesses activities paralyzed in Chapareria area, Kipkomo sub-county in West Pokot after ECDE teachers took to the streets in protest of unfavorable working conditions.
If you try to obstruct these teachers from seeking justice through the union, then you will meet in court.
Absolutely. Engage us on our socials at TV47 News, at George Maringa _. We are also streaming on terrestrial platforms as well as on YouTube and our website. As always, we thank you for joining us and looking forward to your feedback. To our top story this afternoon, and 3 people have been confirmed dead in Mombasa as a result of the ongoing heavy rains that have brought flash floods. 2 of the 3 are from Tudor area, and the third was a 19-year-old KCSE candidate who was electrocuted to death in Bangladesh, Jammu constituency. 3,800 families have so far been affected by floods in Mombasa County. The county government has set up 31 rescue centers across the county, most of them being in Bamburi, which is the most affected area. Speaking during the distribution of food and water pumps, Mombasa Governor Sharif Nasir has insisted that as of now, they have not received any fund or grant from the national government in the name of El Nino. The governor has also pointed out that they need around 30 million Kenya shillings to help the affected families.
Watu 3 wameweza kufariki katika wale ambao kwamba tumeweza kupata uthibitisho nao. 2 walikuwa hapa Chuda bandarini kwa sababu makazi yako karibu sana na bahari, na pia vile mwingine alipigwa na shoti katika maeneo ya Bangladesh. Tunawasihi tena kama tulivyokuwa tukizungumza pale mbeleni, zile nyumba zilioko karibu na baharini ni muhimu sana watu waweze kuondoka. Katika zile utabiri ule ambao kwamba ulioko ni kuna uwezekano wa hii mvua kuweza kuendelea hadi siku ya Alhamisi. But if need be, that there's a need that we have no option except to put a building down, we will have to put a building down. But I want to assure you, in some areas, it is not an issue of a building. It is an issue of a whole township. We have received 0 funding in regards to El Nino. Nikisema 0 na maanisha 0. Haya yote tunayafanya wenyewe.
Absolutely, that is Mombasa Governor Sharif Nasir. And still staying on that beat in Mombasa County, earlier on, Coast Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha gave a status update on the national government intervention measures. Let us listen in.
I've convened this morning to look into the situation in Mombasa County, even as we look across the region, which I'll give briefly, but our focus at the moment is Mombasa County. We have our PS ASAL with us. We have the National Government Administration Officers. We have the National Police Service with us. We have the Kenya Red Cross, MSF, a World Food Program. We have KPLC, that is Kenya Power, Kenya, Kura, and Kera, that is from the road department. We have the Minister of Education officer with us. We have the Kenya Coast Guard with us here, and also the county government of Mombasa, represented by our CC roads. You are bringing...
My State Department is mandated with humanitarian support during times of disaster like this one. It is the arm of the government that supplies relief food and support people in distress during humanitarian crisis like the one we are experiencing here. So I am here today to give the assurance of the government of Kenya that we will fully support those in distress, the population of people which has been affected. We are aware that six sub-counties have been affected. Many people have been, as many as 3,000 households have been affected, have been damaged. They have been displaced, and there are people who are experiencing problems of food. There are people who have problems of shelter, and therefore I'm here today to give the assurance that the government will fully stand with
Indeed, and our condolences to the affected families, and we do hope that the government indeed does intervene. Garsen Member of Parliament Ali Wario has called on the national government to allocate 5 billion Kenya shillings to cater for the relocation of those displaced by floods in Tana River County. Over 230 families displaced in Bandi village have received relief food from the county government and the Kenya Red Cross, just a day after the mass exodus which saw them wait for help along the Garsen Lamu Road. The floods have affected over 11,000 families in Tana River County, and the numbers are expected to rise, particularly in Tana Delta, as the water levels rise each day. Some of the products distributed include food and non-food items like tents, blankets, soap, mosquito nets, sufurias, a 10,000 liters water tank, toilet facilities, among others.
Wanaathirika, angalieni watoto wadogo wa mama. Mnaona vile hali wako. Hawaja kula, wanasumbuka hapa, ni shida kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo mimi namwambia rais wetu, sio mambo ya chakula peke yake sahihi. Aangazie ile mambo ya housing program, ijapo hata constituency yangu imewekwa, lakini atenge pesa fulani hata kama ni bilioni 5 apeane through Red Cross ili hawa watu waishi maisha ya kudumu, kwa sababu hiyo si jambo muhimu, jambo ngumu kwa serikali.
Today we are at a place called Bandi, where over 230 people affected with floods in this area. This is a community that was residing in Bandi, a place where every year in, year out, we actually support them in floods. But we want to thank the area MP of this area, because this time around he has allocated land for them at least to reside here. I hope, and we're optimistic that these people will reside here permanently, so that we avoid this issue of every year responding to the same people on floods. At the moment, what we're trying to do is to provide them with non-food items, and we want to thank the area MP here. He's going to provide, together with the national government, he's going to provide food for this community.
Now, 3 oil companies nominated by the government to supply oil-to-oil marketing oil companies, that is Gulf Energy, Galana Energies and Oryx Energies, have issued a joint statement denying they have been given special treatment by the government from paying 30% corporate tax and selling oil at inflated prices, as claimed by Azimio leader Raila Odinga. In a detailed statement, the 3 oil companies have termed Odinga's statement as untrue, inflammatory, purposefully misleading, and painting the companies in bad light. Absolutely, that statement they called setting the record straight. Let's take you to Kirinyaga County, where politics of the government-to-government oil importation deal is expected to take center stage as President William Ruto tours Kirinyaga County today. The president is said to be in the region to launch various projects, including the construction of the Sagana-Kadhaka-Thiguku Road at Thiguku Road in Ndia constituency. The president is currently on that tour in Kirinyaga County. Let's cross over and listen in to the proceedings.
Na hiyo bei tutaendelea nayo ya 2500 kwa sababu ndio njia ya kusaidia wakulima watuzalishie chakula. Si mnajua mwaka uliopita masiku kama hii unga ilikuwa shilingi 230. Saa hizi unga imefika shilingi 130. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Bado iko mbele. So mnataka tukaze kamba. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize wakulima. Wakulima mtafanya bidii? Wakulima mtafanya bidii? Ile gorogoro ilikuwa inauzwa karibu shilingi 140. Saa hizi ni kama pesa ngapi? Ati? Imekuja chini, sio? So mimi nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba hiyo mpango ya kuzalisha chakula, mimi nawashukuru wakulima. Wakulima katika taifa letu la Kenya wamefanya bidii sana. Ile kazi ambayo wakulima wametusaidia kuzalisha chakula. Mahindi ambayo ilikuwa imefika ama tulizalisha magunia milioni 34 mwaka uliopita, mwaka huu tumezalisha magunia milioni 61. Kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunazidi na kuhakikisha ya kwamba bei ya chakula inateremka chini ili kila mkulima aweze kujisimamia na kila mwananchi aweze kupata chakula kwa bei nafuu. Mambo yenu ya mchele hapa Mwea, tunaelewana? Nimesikia ya kwamba bei ya mchele imekuja chini. Shilingi 70 na kitu kwa wale wanauza pale Mwea. Mimi nimeambia watu wa Cereals Board, ili mkulima asiumie, ile bei alipata ya shilingi 85 kwa kilo moja turudishe hapo. Ndio kila mkulima, ndio wale wanatusaidia kulima wapate bei mzuri, watuzalishie chakula, ndio tupate chakula ya kutosha ya wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya.
President William Ruto speaking in Kirinyaga County, county number 20 on his tour of the region. Away from that, over 2,000 youth from the EAC member states are expected to attend next week's inaugural East African Employability Summit and second Uongozi Career Awards 2023 at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, that is Queer. Stakeholders say there is need for public and private organizations among the EAC, that is East Africa Community member countries, to partner and create job opportunities for millions of unemployed graduates. This summit will offer a first-of-a-kind platform to assess the milestones, shortcomings, and opportunities in the quest to achieve a 100% transition of youth from training to industry.
Our key outcome, one is to come up with a policy brief on youth employability that would inform the 7 member states of the East African Community on some of the policy recommendations, some of the low-hanging fruits that we need to tap onto to convert and slay the dragon on youth unemployment. The other thing that is key to us is that during this summit, we have key partners like knowledge partners. LinkedIn is going to share with us a study from 4.5 million graduates or students on what makes students employable. And this is something that we don't want to miss at higher education partners, as out-of-school youth initiatives, and as students that are also seeking for employment.
Program, together with our partners, we are looking at how we can position our young people, not just nationally, but even globally, such that all the opportunities across the globe, they are able to access them through the various platforms, through different organizations, and they have the necessary skill. So we continue to equip them, we continue to retool them, and giving them and showing them opportunities outside there, not just in our country, not just in our region, but access them both physically and remotely.
young people, both women in the young category and also in the older category. Please come so that we are able to brainstorm, we find solutions to this problem that is distinct in our society and where women are also part of the problem. So in as far as women are concerned, we'll also have guest speakers who are women that will, whose intention is to encourage more women to arise and take up spaces in the employability sector.
Away from that, Azimio la Umoja coalition leader Raila Odinga has urged party members to refrain from early campaigns as it will jeopardize service delivery to Kenyans. Raila, who spoke in the outskirts of Nairobi during an ODM extra parliamentary group meeting, told party members to wait for 2026 and allow those elected in last year's election time to serve instead of crippling their agenda. Raila was speaking in reference to Kisumu County, where elected leaders are jostling to unseat current Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. ODM is currently recruiting new members in readiness for the party's election in March next year, as it seeks to consolidate its strongholds and mobilize new members to face off with President William Ruto in 2027.
Then you have people elected as members of parliament who are campaigning to be governors. You have hardly served the people as a member of parliament. You already are declaring and you have even a committee campaigning to be a governor. Some people elected as senators campaigning to be governors, or even reps campaigning to be governors, or members of parliament. I want to say that time is going to come. Time will come. But allow those who have been elected in those respective positions to serve now, giving them the support that they need, so that they either succeed or they fail. In a normal democracy, campaigning starts 1 year before the elections. You can see now in the US, people are declaring candidatures for senators, for governorships, and for the presidency, because the election is next year. Then you will have 1 year to do the campaign. So what I want to say is that it is not right first, because we see a lot of enmity being generated among our members, because everybody is now already in a full swing campaign 4 years later. And you find some people have hired our youth. The youth are running around this time, fighting, put a lot of tension. This should end.
Principal Secretary for Interior Raymond Omolo has maintained that the Kenya Kwanza government is fully committed to deliver on its promises as promised by President William Ruto. Omolo, who was in West Pokot County for a charity run to raise awareness on neglected patients, also said the Ministry of Interior will fully deal with banditry issues at the Kerio Valley, urging leaders to work in harmony in order to put an end to the menace. West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin, on his part, said such activities will help in bringing locals together, urging residents to take part in them.
Na kama katibu mkuu ambaye anashughulikia mambo ya usalama, la kwanza ni kuhimiza viongozi wa hapa ili washirikiane na wenzao kutoka makaunti jirani ili tukue na hali ya usalama nzuri kwa wananchi, ili maisha na biashara na mambo ya elimu iendelee vilivyo.
Pia nimefurahia kwa watu kuja kwa wingi sana hapa Kachaliba kusherekea hao watu wetu wa DNDi ambao wamekuwa wa msaada sana kwa kaunti hii kwa kuweza kusaidia sisi kwa matibabu ya magonjwa ambayo yamesaulika kama vile kalasa, na wamekuwa kaunti hii kwa muda mrefu, na hii mbio ni kusherekea hawa na pia kulete sisi pamoja kama vile pia amesema kusherekea mambo ya amani ambaye tumeweza kushuhudia katika sehemu hii, hasa sehemu ya Kachaliba, na sisi kujumuika pamoja ni kuashiria ile umoja wa taifa letu.
Happy to celebrate this very August celebration for GNDI. It's the 20th anniversary. They've been doing a fantastic job in curbing neglected disease and offering treatment for the people of West Pokot.
Now, pyrethrum farmers will be major beneficiaries under the US-Kenya trade partnership that seeks to increase the country's agricultural production. The deal will see more than 90,000 small-scale pyrethrum farmers contracted by US-based company Kentegra Biotechnology Holding. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
The U.S. ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, during the Nakuru County Investment Roundtable meeting in Naivasha Pyrethrum Company, said that the two countries are working together to ensure the process of constructing a processing plant in Naivasha begins.
Well, there is a new company called Kentegra, which is an American company. Kentegra stands for Kenya Integrity. And they have just announced and have broken ground on a pyrethrum manufacturing facility here. I think they've recruited about 8,000 or 9,000 farmers, and each of those farmers employs about 9 people to pick pyrethrum, mostly women, and they buy directly from the farmers every 2 weeks. They weigh the flowers, they pay them right there in cash, and those goes to support school fees and feed families. And I think it's been a big success. I'll let you comment, but they're trying to recruit 90,000 farmers across Kenya.
The company is said to be in the process of signing contracts with farmers in pyrethrum growing regions in the country, with a view of bringing the crop, which has many benefits like making insecticides, back to its glory.
There are very real opportunities and real companies that are looking for investment and looking for ways to grow their business here. And in my view, this is all about creating good jobs. Good jobs in new sectors, some jobs in old sectors like pyrethrum that the governor is bringing back, like potatoes that the governor is bringing back.
Back in the 80s, most of the families really, especially in this county, educated or put their kids through school using pyrethrum. We want to make sure Nakuru gets a big share because if you recall, most of the pyrethrum Kenya was the leading exporter of pyrethrum in the world. And out of that pyrethrum, 80% came from Nakuru County.
Nakuru County Governor Susan Keka said that the county would by the end of the year introduce single permits for all investors and local traders, as she noted that high taxation and multiple licenses had turned out to be a discouragement to investors.
It will be an attractive place to put up businesses because we are going to do away with these many taxes, double taxation or whatever you want to call it, and a lot of just disjointed and all over permits that different companies are required to have.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Now, Kitui East Member of Parliament Nimrod Mbai has announced a coalition of UDA aspirants from the Eastern region seeking party leadership posts ahead of next month's party elections. The MP, who is seeking UDA chairmanship post in Kitui County, has launched a spirited campaign for his Mwala counterpart Vincent Musyoka, popularly known as Kawaya, to be elected as the party's national organizing secretary in next month's party elections. Mbai has also reached out to the counties of Embu, Meru and Tharaka Nithi, saying that the Ukambani region will, as an act of reciprocity, rally behind Embu Governor Cecil Mbarire to be elected as the party's national chairman.
Na tumekubaliana ya kwamba delegates zote 60 za Ukambani tuko nyuma ya Mheshimiwa Kawaya. Hata viongozi wenye tuko kwa siasa tumekubaliana hakuna mtu ataitisha kiti kingine mpaka Kawaya apate hiyo organizing secretary. Na hapa nyumbani tumefunga hiyo na tumekubaliana. Sasa tutaenda kuongea na watu wengine. Next week tunaenda Embu kuongea na chairperson wa chama Mheshimiwa Barire Governor, Excellency. Kwa sababu hii Lower Eastern, Tharaka, Embu, Meru, tumpatie pia delegates hizi 60 za Ukambani, na yeye pia tupie hizo 60 za Lower Eastern, za Upper Eastern. Ndio sisi Barire akuwe na delegates 120 na Kawaya toka nyumbani na delegates 120.
By the time the William Samoei Ruto inherited this presidency, I am telling you, there were Kenyans who are richer than Kenya. People who can lend Kenya, they have more money in their pocket than Kenya itself. So when we talk about a finance bill, when we talk about some difficulties, we must agree that the problem we are facing requires surgery, not Panadol. And only a courageous president like William Ruto can take that path to show Kenyans the true path to liberation.
The Catholic Church, through its relief and development agency Caritas, has ventured into the milk business following the launch of a 150 million shillings processing plant in Kiambu County, which is expected to benefit over 5,000 farmers in the county. Caritas Dairy Director Sister Mary Mbachi said dairy farmers in Kiambu County will benefit with the installation of the plant, where they will sell their milk for considerate prices that will cushion their plight of dairy farmers in the county and break the chains of informal structures in order to earn a better income.
Is the first one of its kind in Kenya, and we are proud of it. It gives a new shape of the church in Kenya, in the sense that it gives that emphasis of the social gospel, the social participation of the church, which is a faith-based community in the lives of the people. Not that it's starting today, but it's just an element that has come in to emphasize our social participation in the lives of people. High cost of living, we should look at it that we are bringing the industry, we are bringing the unit among the people themselves.
Every other year we are progressing well in terms of our capacity to collect the milk, process and take to the market. Started with 46 liters of milk. That was the very first time that we